Can you tell me how Dare for More has evolved over the years? Because you guys have been a nonprofit for 15 years?
Right. Yeah. So, like I said, we started women here in the U.S. So we're focusing on. I started just speaking. I didn't know anything, right? I was a college basketball coach. I've got my counseling degree. I'm a professor in the college setting. So what do I know about women's ministry and conferences and college speaking? I don't. So I just started getting invitations, and so I just go. And it was really cool because I love that opportunity to just get into a women's environment, sit down and encourage women and help them say, what's the next step for you spiritually?
Yeah.
So that evolved from there to a trip to the Dominican Republic, where we got an invitation. Anytime you get invited to Caribbean to go speak, you go, right? I mean, it's Caribbean, right? And so we got invited to Caribbean to go speak, and I'm like, absolutely, we'll make room for that on the schedule.
Yeah.
But when I got down there, God flipped my world upside down, because in that room over that weekend, there were women who had been rescued, and they were there from safe houses, and there were actually women who are rescuing. And all of a sudden, I understood for the first time that the trafficking issues were not small numbers in small places and a few spots in the world. This was actually a global epidemic of problems for women, and 40 plus million people were impacted by this. And so all of a sudden it was like, okay, we'll pray turned into we'll go turned into we'll help turned into we'll expand what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we'll really start trying to speak into that, so that we're ministering to women, not just here in the U.S., but around the world. So that's kind of how it grew.
Yeah. So can you give me an example of a life that's been changed as a result of what Dare for More is doing?
Yeah, I have so many cool stories.
I bet you do.
Yeah, so many cool stories through the years of people. I was in a conference, and I won't even say where in order to protect the story, but I was in a conference, I was speaking, and got through with my session, and the crowd was emptying the building, and a woman came in the back door, and she said, "Can I talk to you?" And I said, "Absolutely." And she sat down, and she said, "I came to this retreat this weekend ready to take my life." She said, I left, I have a note that I left that was going to leave on my pillow in my room where I'm staying here at the retreat center, and explain to my husband and my kids what had happened. And at this particular location, there was a cliff. We were up on this high bluff, and it was known for its views. And she said, I was just going to go jump. She said, I left in the service. She said, I don't know if you saw me, but I left. She said, I went out and stood on that bluff and couldn't do it. And everything you said kept coming back to my mind. And I'd only been in there for like 15 minutes into your session, and then I left. And she said, I kept hearing your voice, and I kept hearing what you said. And she said, I walked away, and I came here, and here I am. Help.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we were able then to sit there for a while and talk, and we were able to get her some help, get her connected, able to actually let her talk and share what was going on in her life with her husband and her family, who had no idea she was at that point, and really begin to grow. And what's so cool is, fast forward 5-6 years down the road, we're back at that same location again.
Yeah.
And she walks in the back door,
Yeah.
big grin on the face, and she's like, do you remember me? And I'm like, are you kidding?
Of
Of course I
course.
remember you, right? And how's it going?
Yeah.
And she begins to share what God has done and how God had brought her through that last 5 years. And that right there makes it all worth it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that, you do all the travel, you'd go all through the hardships, all the difficulties just for that one woman.
Yeah.
Because that was just an incredible opportunity. So you never know when you're speaking at a women's event, even here in the U.S., what woman is in the audience and what she's struggling with. And this woman didn't have any massive problems in her life. She just had life, right?
Yeah.
And life got too heavy.